Hello and welcome to another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. The Midwest Rail Rangers, our 501c3 nonprofit organization, presents onboard educational programs across the upper Midwest. You may have caught us on the South Shore line between Chicago and South Bend, Indiana, aboard the Sky Parlor car at the Wisconsin Great Northern, on an Amtrak charter organized by the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago, on private rail excursions featuring heritage equipment, and at various outreach events such as Trainfest and Mad City Rail. In March of 2020, the coronavirus sidelined most of our programs.
A halt as train services, bus services, interstate bus services, railways, metros, they're all being stopped to break the march of the coronavirus.
After taking a few months off, we decided to come back and present virtual programs, taking you to exciting rail destinations across Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, and Wisconsin. So until we can be together again back on the trains, sit back and relax and enjoy another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. Well, good evening, everybody. It's just after 7 o'clock here on Sunday evening, September the 27th, and thank you for joining us on YouTube Live for another one of our virtual education programs. I'm Midwest Rail Ranger President Robert Taborn, and we are joining you from north central, northeast Wisconsin. Kind of throw up the map right here and show you where we're coming from. We are in Laona, Wisconsin, a couple hours north of Green Bay, Wausau area, and we are at a steam train that operates. We are on a special excursion today, and normally this runs in the summer, but we're doing a special excursion here at the end of September. In the late 1880s, rugged lumberjacks toiled up here in the north woods of Wisconsin. Those were long winters, which we have coming up pretty soon. It's almost October here. Well, they would cut pines that helped build the Milwaukee, Chicago, and St. Louis. Sturdy horses dragged the trees on sleds on the snowbanks of the rivers. The logs were then rafted together and floated downstream, often to mills on the Wisconsin River in such cities as Wausau and Stevens Point. Many of the loggers were farmers the rest of the year, and cutting trees provided them work and fed their animals when the snow fell. Some of them toiled in Camp 5, which we'll see when we get off the train here, which is a logging camp, and that's where you start the ride in the town of Laona, and then you head to Camp 5, which is the logging camp. But back to the train here, many of the loggers were farmers the rest of the year, and cutting trees provided them work and fed their animals when the snow fell. Some of them toiled in Camp 5, which we mentioned we're going to see in a little bit. Now, by the early 1900s, the railroad had arrived up north, where we're at, definitely northern Wisconsin, not very far from the UP of Michigan, making it possible to log year-round. In 1926, the Connor Land and Lumber Company purchased what became the four-spot steam locomotive, which we're looking at right now, live here, just about 7:05 on this beautiful September Sunday night. So this would be built to haul timber. You can see a family over here who's checking it out, and they have an area where you can check out the train. The relic of railroad history was beautifully restored and is now operating as part of the Lumberjack steam train, which is fired up special for us tonight. They're letting the public on as well on the special train, which includes several passenger cars, 3 cabooses, and we'll walk down here once we get off at the Lumberjack camp and take a look at these. But there's several passenger cars. For social distancing reasons here, we're going to be in the open air car today, but there's also 3 cabooses and a boxcar converted into an observation car. The train navigates the 3-mile route between Laona and Camp 5, which turned into a logging museum by the descendants of the original Connor family beginning in 1969. In 1916, the engine, the only working steam engine of its kind in the world, That's according to Kate Connor Dillon, who we spoke to, president of the Camp 5 Museum Board. She said they operated the facility there for 25 years. The museum was started by her mother 48 years ago and is now run by her daughter, Catherine Hartgen. I'll take a look around here. There's a playground area. Fans of Wisconsin's early lumber history and steam trains can ride the rails. It's normally open, a little modified this year. It is normally open in September, but it has not been this year. Normally, the steam trains, you can ride this 4 Saturdays in the fall as part of the Lumberjack Steam Train Fall Festival. The last Saturday of the month also features a train robbery right out of the Old West with cowboy bandits on horseback taking over the train and relieving the payments of his banknotes. 2 of the cabooses have cupolas, which offer into the trees vista into the forest. In addition, a boxcar has been converted into an open-air viewing car, which we are going to ride today, and we'll broadcast the whole route for you live. Kate Dillon said the 4th spot is a prairie-style locomotive, slightly smaller than the conventional steam engines, and has 2 leading wheels, 4 couple driving wheels, and 2 trailing wheels. Among truss train aficionados, it is known as a 262. It looks like they're getting fired up here. I think we're going to be, well, what is it now? It's about 7:07. So I think we're leaving, what do they say, about 7:10 to 7:12. So we got about 5 minutes until we're going to do our live jaunt. Just a little bit more information. Because it has performed so well for decades, the owners have decided to keep the locomotive. Even they switched to the more fuel-efficient diesel engines in the 1950s. Today, visitors who want to ride the Lumberjack steam train board here at a restored 1880s Sioux Line depot, and we'll take you in that too. It's about a quarter-mile west of Laona on US Highway 8. The depot on the old Laona northwestern track. See if we can get our camera person to kind of pan down at the yellow depot that we see here. That is the old Sioux Line depot. On the old Laona and Northern Railway track has an old-fashioned railway clock inside, a roll-desk desk, a period typewriter, and a barrel stove. Passengers we bought tickets inside the depot, just as people did at the turn of the 20th century. And our destination, which we're going to ride to here, is Camp 5, a restored lumberjack outpost that was later turned into a company farm to raise livestock and vegetables to feed the hungry loggers and supply outlying camps. It has 8 buildings that have been repurposed for visitors. The old hog barn is now a petting corral. The blacksmith shop, which we'll get to see, is converted into a museum, along with the old slaughterhouse, which has been decked out as a haunted house for the fall festival. There's also a boarding house where workers live, several original barns, and the home of the foreman, who is known as the Woods Boss. The site also has a Cracker Barrel store and Choo Choo Hut restaurant. It was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So we are just about to fire up there. And Candace is joining us as well.
Hello, everyone.
Our educational coordinator on this beautiful September evening here. Not a lot of fall colors out there yet. We saw a few trees starting to change out there. How are you doing? Are you excited for our steam ride? Have you ever been up here before?
Never. First time for me.
Okay.
We're about to take you on an amazing ride through Wisconsin's wonderful nature.
Yeah, let's flip the camera around because I think we're just about ready to fire up here. hobo camp? It's a pile of coal. That's what you're getting in a couple months for Christmas. Yeah. Yeah? I think we've arrived in the Lumberjack camp. Oh, look, there's some horses.
I can't believe it. We get to feed animals. We get to feed animals.
Train departure. If you look over there on the barn, that's when you can come back. 11:20, 12:20, 1:45, and the last train for the day is 3 o'clock. Okay. And then Choo Choo Hut right here is where you can get food. Where you get we're leaving. Yeah. Bye.
I want to
Dorsey.
Thank you.
How is that?
Enjoy. Have fun. Thank you. See you later.
So we're going to take you up to the engine with Robert and an interview with Pete.
All right, looks like we got the camera feed switched over here. Thanks so much, Candace. Glad to be with everybody. It's just about 7:20 or so, a little after that on Sunday night here. I'm glad you're with us. And during our layover here, we're gonna get we're gonna head back. And when we head back, I'll show you some of the passenger cars. But during our layover here, we're gonna go ahead and meet Pete, who's up here with the engine. And he's just going to give us a little talk, a little tour, a little peek up inside the engine. So let's head up here.
How was your ride?
Hi, it was really good. We appreciate that. You're Pete?
Yep.
Okay, and so what do you want to tell everybody if a camera person wants to come up here and give us a tour of the... Come right into the engine? Yeah. Okay. Wow, this is pretty cool.
Just watch your step.
Yes, make sure a camera person watches their step. You want me to do the... Here, I'll take the camera. It's always fun when we do this stuff live.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to see. You're probably seeing me up really close right now, but that's all right. We'll let our camera person get in here.
That's Davey, the fireman.
Hi, Davey. How are you doing?
Davey, can you open the fire?
Yeah, good.
Are we getting this? Look at that, live.
I know.
Live fire. Nothing beats that, a live steam engine.
Here's your water glasses for your boiler.
So what do these do?
These are the water in the boiler that makes the steam. See the...
Okay. So it tells you the levels?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how much water's in there right now.
Okay. Are we at a good level? Okay.
And after we get to 150, this is a steam gauge.
Okay.
And if it gets above 150, we add water to cool her down.
Okay.
And if it ain't 150, we throw more coal in to get her hotter.
So we're doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, because we're going to set here for...
Yeah, before we go back.
We don't want it popping off.
Okay.
This is a hydrostatic lubricator that keeps our valves and air compressor oiled at all times with a drip, hydrostatic.
What is that noise that we hear?
That's a steam-driven air compressor keeping our air brakes up.
Okay, and that's all automatic? The system itself knows how to...
Yeah, once it bleeds off to 100 pounds, it'll pump back up to 110 and shut off.
Okay, so as the engineer, you don't have to worry about that.
Unless we have to clean the part.
Okay, gotcha.
This is your coach brake, or independent brake. And this is the engine brake.
Okay.
So we always slow down the coaches to take the tension out so they don't bang.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you don't want that. We want a nice smooth ride is what we want.
Yeah. This is your throttle. And this is your Johnson bar, forward and reverse lever.
Okay.
And we slow down with the coaches and get the slack out, and we just basically do our last little stop with the engine brake, then we take and keep the engine brake on.
Yeah.
So we're stable.
Okay.
This is a air sander for front and rear in case the track would get wet or...
Okay.
So we don't
gives you a little
spin.
traction?
Yep,
or,
it's got silica sand in the domes out there.
Okay.
The front dome and the back dome.
Perfect.
And this is your engine brakes.
Okay.
And the main reservoir pressure is about 70. And then,
so we're good there too.
Yep.
And you're just a perfect engineer. You got it down. Every gauge.
Yep. And then there's a water injector. We pull water out of cooler water out of. There's one on each side for extra safety.
Okay.
In case one would fail, we can always get water in the boiler.
Okay.
That's why we doubled up on the water glasses with the rebuild and our injectors.
Okay.
So that's just for safety reasons.
Do you guys just have the one steam engine here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reliable.
Is it? Yeah. Now, do you have to? I know some steam engines every 15 years or so they have to redo that. Are you have to do that?
We have to do.
And do you do that in the off season then, or how does that work?
In the fall, till as long as it takes, we take all the skin off. And we do the foot by foot grid.
Okay.
That's called the ultrasonic thickness test.
Yeah.
And then if Well, so far, because we only run certain months of the year,
Okay.
our flues are kind of grandfathered in until we start having trouble. Then we got to change all 202 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But because we only run 2 months a season, instead of by the whole year, we're getting grandfathered in until we would start having a leak or something. Then we would have to change them all.
Okay. Well, how long have you been doing this?
27 years.
Here in Laona?
Yeah, on this steam engine, and I never missed a run, but I did because I just got out of the hospital.
Oh, no.
So
Well,
he was the engineer for
okay.
a week.
Well, how long did it take for you to learn all the gauges and everything?
I was a fireman here for about 5 years, and we just watch and learn.
Okay. Okay. So kind of like an apprentice
Yeah.
of everything.
And then the engineer was in his 70s and decided he had enough and wanted to retire. He was retired off live steam as an engineer off the Wisconsin Central or something before they switched to diesels.
Okay.
And then he was in such good shape yet he thought, I'll run this for him for 2 months a season, and I learned from him, and he just stepped down one day and said, take over, and I said, okay.
Have you run diesel at all, or have you just run steam?
Just steam.
Okay.
Yeah. I worked on a diesel across town, the Nicolay Badger.
Okay.
But I never ran it. I was just brakeman and stuff for him.
One of the questions somebody sent us in from the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago, they wanted to know, is running steam a lot harder than diesel, or
it's basically the same, but now because of all the computerized.
Okay.
I bet you a diesel's harder to run. Well, it would be for me because I ain't good with computers.
Okay.
But I got a friend that works on the Canadian National.
Yeah.
And he showed me the newer engines, and they're all computer operated, and it would take me longer to catch on to that than the old school stuff.
We had one last question, also from the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago, and they wanted to know, when was the last time this went through that rebuild, and when is the next time it's due?
2004.
Okay.
2019.
Okay.
But
so this just went through the rebuild now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2004, and then we already took the skin off and did the ultrasonic thickness test again.
Okay.
So probably 2020, we got a year or two. We got to replace the flues.
Okay.
Because they're only supposed to last 15 years, but like I said, we only run 2 months a season, and we do our boiler washes regularly when we're running, so it's still like we just rebuilt it.
And what's the hardest part of your job, or the hardest part of anybody operating a?
The braking system.
Okay, and why is that? Why is that? Just for the smooth ride for the passengers, or?
The smooth ride, and if you get rain, it's all different.
Okay.
You can't brake too much because you can't tug. Then you got to run the sand, and you got to run more things at once to keep your traction and keep your braking, and still have the smooth ride. And the heat.
Yeah. And I know this summer has been really weird with the virus and everything going on. It's been for us at the Midwest Rail Rangers. We haven't been able to do our programs. What is your normal season for 2021, or what would a normal season be? What are your days of operation and the costs and all that to ride?
We open up in the mid-June.
Mid-June usually. Okay.
Go till the end of August, and then 3 September runs on Saturdays and 1 in October.
Okay. And then you have the coal behind. You got to show the people before we toss it. This is the. So where does your coal come from, or what do you just bring this in?
Yeah, they truck it in from West Virginia.
Okay.
It's the soft coal, it's called.
Let's see the soft coal. And how much? So you have this pile here. How long would this last? Will this last you the whole year, or
no,
does it go really quick?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks, this whole pile.
Well, we'll have some left, but we like to keep a lot on hand. In case of rain, it's harder to load that too.
Okay.
With a little bobcat or skid steer.
Gotcha. Is that what you get for Christmas? I was kidding Candace back in there that it says she was getting that for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I give my kids.
Those are big pieces of coal, though. Wow.
That's considered 2 by 6. That's
the size of the coal.
Yep, and it burns at 15,500 BTUs.
Okay. Is that good? I don't know what that...
Yeah, that's pretty much the best coal that they sell on the market. Right?
Okay. All right.
And it keeps this engine going pretty good.
Yeah.
It keeps it nice and warm. We don't ever have no trouble. We can keep it consistent steam pressure.
Cool. Well, I think we're about ready to take off, so we're going to send it back to
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
How hot do you think it is up here?
We had the Channel 12 News here about 2 years ago, and it was 94 degrees outside, and I went to because they were asking me, so I went and bought one of them round temperature gauges, and I put it up, and it went to 140 and busted the spring, and it was on Channel 12 News. So
it's 140 degree right where I'm standing. It might be cool here in the Northwoods, here in late September. It might be cool, but it's a nice 140 degrees.
Yeah.
So you don't operate it all though in the winter,
No,
so you never get to experience the nice. Candace would like it because she likes it anything above 130. So, all right. Well, I appreciate your time. We better send it back to Candace and let you go because I hear that we're about ready to take off and head on back. Thanks so much, Pete.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Good time.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the ride to Camp 5. Now we're going to take you back to Laona, and Robert's going to take you on a tour of the rest of the train.
All right. Thanks, Candace, as we are now heading back on our special charter here at the leaving camp number 5, head on the steam locomotive, which we showed you. So coming here, we showed you the steam locomotive there, and we're going to show you the rest of the cars. Again, make our way back. This is the open air car, which we rode in earlier. And it's getting late here in the evening. The sun's starting to go down. We do have our nobody else aboard here because they were nice enough to run the train just for us here. Midwest Rail Rangers and the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago. They were nice enough to do this special charter run for us. So now on the way back, so this is the open air car, which I guess is probably pretty popular with all the social distancing that we've had this summer and going into the fall now. That gives you another angle here as we ride back, what it looks like. And here's one of the coach cars so you can ride through. Love the old, got the old wood stove here. Presume that might be one of the original. It's pretty old looking. I'm gonna walk through there. Oh look, there's a tractor out the window. I'm just glad our live signal here has held up so well. We are in a pretty rural area of Wisconsin. Some of the old, there's the light fixtures up there, and I guess you could toss your luggage over there. And boy, you get another stove over here to keep you warm. I guess being a lumberjack camp, you probably had a lot of wood. And there's a look back at the coach. You can see there's Candace through the open air car, and then the steam locomotive here. So you have your options. A nice day up here in northern Wisconsin. You can sit on the open air car, or it starts raining. You can move your. Oh, love that whistle, huh? Hey, make our way here. You see they got another type of coach here. So I got two coaches here. And turn around so everybody can see the view over there. And then we have our caboose up here, which is probably quite popular.
Sorry, I'm in your picture.
Oh, that's fine. And here's.
The last one, be careful when you walk over to the last step.
Okay.
The last part.
Okay. The last caboose? Okay. All right. So here we have a couple cabooses you could ride into. Just pretty cool. I think all seating here is from what we were told is in a first come first serve basis kind of thing. But there's the caboose. We'll go ahead and walk into that. Kind of cool. You see the cupola up there. And we'll go ahead and walk over and on into the caboose. A little bit area for sitting, I guess, probably for sleeping originally. And then you can even climb up here in the cupola if you want to and have a seat. It's cool. Well, maybe if you want a bench style, if you're the conductor there and you got some paperwork to do. A cool option there. I'll spin around and get a view there. And another caboose. A little different configuration to this one. A little stove and there. Wash basin. And there's the view here. I'm going to try to climb up here. Pardon the bad camera shot for a second there. But I want to give everybody a view from up here. In case you've never been in a cupola before, with a caboose, you are live right here with us on our YouTube channel, the Midwest Rail Rangers, in partnership here with the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago. Look at that view from that cupola tonight. Just beautiful. The sun's just starting to go down on the other side here. And I think in the next week or two, a lot of the greens are going to start going away, and we'll see some of the fall colors that Wisconsin's known for this time of the year. Pretty cool. Well, let's head on down. I'm gonna have to give my bad camera work for a few seconds as I get down. Whew. And last but not least, I'll go on the third caboose. There we go. Again, when you're live, it's hard to do beautiful camera work all the time. We are trying our best. There's another cupola area of this caboose. And another stove there. And there's your view into the train. The rail fan window, as we call it. You can see there. There's the end of the line. And there's our conductor out there. So there you go. Let's make our way back up to the engine now, if you don't mind. I'm sure you want to hear that steam locomotive and watch it as we come on in. I got to get off the train, head over to the depot as soon as we get in, and kind of show you that. Let's get back up. Let's get back up here. Right to the coach car. Just about pulling back in. Oh. Better hop off here. I'm gonna hop off here and let our third cameraman take over here. And I'll see you just in a minute or two at the depot.
Now Robert's going to take you on a tour of the depot to wrap things up.
All right, thanks Candace, and we had a great time here at the Lumberjack steam train in north central Wisconsin. Thanks everybody for watching us this evening. Boy, it's going to be about after 7:30 already, and the sun's going to start going down here, so we're going to wrap it up from the depot, but we're just going to mention where you come in and get your tickets if you have time before or after your train ride. Make sure you stop by and check out some of the really cool displays here. This explains kind of the train order of hoops. You'll have to check it out when you come, but this is how they used to give train orders to each other. And there's some articles up here. There's a little video you can watch and some other brochures about things to do in the area. So we just want to thank everybody for watching tonight, especially folks, supporters of the Midwest Rail Rangers, and the folks, especially with the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago. Shout out to you guys once again for coming aboard the train ride. Our next Rail Rangers virtual educational program, mark your calendars, 2 weeks from tonight, will be Sunday, October the 11th, 2020. So we hope you'll join us again for our next educational program. Mark your calendars, October the 11th, 2020, 2 weeks from tonight. So on behalf of the Midwest Rail Rangers and the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago, and Candace, who is still sitting aboard the train right now, come on, we gotta go. Come on. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. To learn more about the Midwest Rail Rangers, our 501c3 nonprofit organization, simply log on to www.railrangers.org. That's www.railrangers.org. And if you're interested in planning your own trip, you can also purchase one of our Railroad Route Guide books, ebooks, or MP3 podcasts at the Midwest Rail Rangers store, conveniently located at www.midwestrails.com. That's www.midwestrails.com. Until our next program, have a great day.